Welcome back to Lucchese's Garage. In today's video, you're going to see a little bit of work on a couple of the projects around the garage. We've got the Accord, the F-150, and then the Cutlass. And actually, not featured in today's video, but we've got the old Tacoma in the garage. I just did spark plugs and wires on it, just kind of general maintenance stuff. So I didn't film a video on it. Let me know if that's something you'd like to see in the future. But yeah, with that, let's get into the video. Today I'm working on trying to pull the transmission off of my Accord motor. So the reason I have to pull this transmission is because a couple of the mounts are broken. And I'm going to take it to a shop and get welded. And just kind of looking, there's a couple wires I'll have to solder and fix. But yeah, I'm just going to try and get it off, and I'll try and show you guys what it looks like off of the car. So kind of jumping around on projects today. But today we have the old F-150 on the ground, and I'm going to pull the intake, put my 4-barrel intake on, and I'm pretty sure I have to order gaskets for the carb, but at least I can figure out what I need, or make what I need. But looks like there was maybe a mouse or something down under there. So I'm glad I'm getting this off, and I'm gonna vacuum it out before I pull it off, just so nothing falls down into the motor. But I'm curious to see what it looks like. This old carb had a bunch of freaking attachments on it for what I'm guessing is like the smog and vacuum and all sorts of other stuff. But for the most part, it all came off pretty easy. Got my old air cleaner there. Might replace that with something cool. Here's my intake gaskets. So I'm hoping those work. And then, yeah, I'm gonna get to it. So, got the old intake off, and you can actually see in this picture, we decided to port and polish the heads. So I haven't actually gotten to polish them yet, but they are ported, and then I mocked it up. All right, so while the coolant is draining on the Ford, as you can see there into the bucket, I'm gonna try and see, unfortunately no one is here to help me pull the hood off, and I need to pull the hood to be able to get the fenders off, but this front bumper needs to come off. So I'll get you guys all set up and we'll pull that off. All right, I got the front bumper off. Ran into one small little hiccup. This little bolt right there was spinning from the inside, but luckily I'll just have to glue that back in when I go to put it together. All the headlights came out. One of the headlight bolts rolled and fell in the crack right there, so I need to grab a magnet and get that out. Other than that, it came off pretty good, and should be a lot easier to spray that way and get it prepped and ready to go. So yeah, waiting for someone to come help me with the hood, and then we can start pulling the fenders. All right, there's the first fender off. Got a little hung up on where he riveted some new pieces in with the bolts. So I fought that a little bit, but otherwise we got it off. Ready to sand this one down It is primed, however, I'm probably gonna have to go back over it and just get some of these little chips out and stuff. That's all in the paint that he just primed over. So I'll probably end up repriming it and painting it, and then this little plastic piece will come out and I'll paint that separate too. But for all those plastic pieces, I just got a new can delivered. Where'd I put it? Somewhere. Put it somewhere. Of a new primer that is supposed to help adhesion. And I tried it on those bumper pieces I painted, and it seemed to work pretty good. So I'm excited to, I think it's in my truck, but I'm excited to try that, and I'll get this other fender pulled. I've got my first coat of sealer on here. I used normal sealer on those metal pieces and a special poly, like flexible sealer on the plastic. Here's the first coat of base coat. It actually sprayed out super orange, which I was a little bit worried about at first, but I knew that going over that light gray, I was gonna have to put a couple coats on for it to cover and look all right. Very pearlescent paint. Here's the second coat of base. We're starting to get that deeper red color with the pearls popping. So sprayed out pretty well. Didn't have a ton of dirt nibs or anything, so that's always good. Here's my third coat of base. This is about the point where you should be looking at full coverage and just making sure that you've got everything and that the color's looking uniform and stuff like that. I shut the lights off in the booth and grabbed a paint light, and I'm just making sure that I've got everything covered. I don't see any spots where it's too light, and all the pearl looks uniform, and it all looked pretty good. I had to hit maybe one spot that was right on an edge, kind of in a hard to reach area, and it all turned out pretty good, so got ready for clear. Here's the first coat of clear, looking really good. No dry spots and sprayed out super nice. I'm using Omni, which is stuff I've used before. It's not super top of the line, but it's definitely really nice clear. So. And then here's coat number 2. I ended up only doing 2 coats of clear just because it was looking really good and I didn't want to risk running it or running into any other problems. You can see a little bit of buildup along some of the edges, but otherwise sprayed out super nice, and I'm super happy with how they turned out. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. I've got more Cutlass parts that I'm painting and working on painting, and can't wait to get that done and see what other projects we can keep working on. Thanks for watching.